Hello, welcome. This is News Today. I am Emefa Akosia Adeti. We're coming to you live from our studios here in Kokomlemle, Accra. We're also live on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Coming up this afternoon, NPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman Wuntumi remains in custody 2 days after the High Court granted him bail as he struggles to meet the bail conditions related to his alleged involvement in illegal mining activities. We have details as his lawyers make attempts today to secure his release. And that's all in the bulletin. Perennial financial irregularities come into sharp focus this afternoon as President John Mahama meets with the Attorney General, Acting Chief Justice, and other key state officials to find a lasting solution to the millions of losses captured in the Auditor-General's report. And as for Ghana's sports funding revolution, government unveils plans to support athletes and sports infrastructure development. We have more from Sports Minister Kofi Adams, as he also shared his thoughts on Black Stars head coach Otto Addo's performance. This afternoon as well, scores of parents expressed frustration after weeks of unresolved concerns at Kumasi Self-Placement Center. We'll take you to the placement center here in Accra for updates. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Please stay for details. Company this afternoon. First in the news, persistent financial irregularities take center stage this afternoon as President John Mahama is set to meet the Attorney General, Acting Chief Justice, and other key stake officials to seek lasting measures to curb the millions lost, as detailed in the Auditor-General's report annually. Speaking at the 12th Annual Conference of Chairpersons of Governing Boards and Council Chief Directors and Chief Executives organized by the Public Services Commission of Ghana in Ho, the President said the meeting will also focus on fast-tracking the prosecution of individuals implicated in such reports. Details shortly, but first, here is a report capturing how much the nation loses to financial irregularities captured in the Auditor-General's report put before the Public Accounts Committee.
Year after year, the Auditor-General irregularities across public institutions, a recurring issue that continues to drain the nation's resources. President John Mahama says enough is enough. He's scheduled to meet with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and other key stakeholders on Thursday to find what he calls a final solution to the persistent mismanagement of public funds.
Recently, I've been watching the Public Accounts Committee, and it's so pathetic. You know, why must we every year congregate at the Public Accounts Committee and then you hear all kinds of atrocious, things? I mean, recklessness with public funds and resources. And so I have a meeting on Thursday with the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and others to find a final solution to this Auditor General's report, that persons who are found guilty of infractions or do not follow due procedure or lead to loss of public resources, we must have a fast-track process to Nsawam, Fast-track, before you see you are in Nsawam, 6 months. Until we do that, until there's a deterrent, we're going to come every year and they say total misappropriation and infractions of found out by the Auditor General is about 15 billion cedis. I mean, if we save 15 billion cedis, can you imagine what it could do?
President Mahama says that audit report implementation committees are not functioning effectively and very little is done after Public Accounts Committee hearings. The President expressed optimism that the new measures to be discussed will serve as a deterrent to others.
And so we're going to have a meeting, we're going to brainstorm. We've not fully implemented the constitutional provision. There's a part of the provision that says after the Public Accounts Committee has sat on the Auditor General's report, Parliament must set up a committee. What we don't know is whether it should be a parliamentary committee or it's a committee not necessarily made of parliamentarians to implement the findings of the Auditor General. Right now, what we use is the audit the ARICs. Every department is supposed to set up an ARIC. But once they've come from the Public Accounts Committee, virtually nobody follows up on what the recommendations that were given. And so the Audit Reports Implementation Committees are not working. And so we must find a way where we are able to create a deterrent until people know that you can be held responsible for these things that you do. They'll continue to do the same thing. And so after Thursday, I'm sure we'll come up with some way where persons who are culpable of misusing the resources of the people will be held to account so that others, do not follow suit.
The president has also been urging appointees to serve with dignity so they will have no reason to fear when called to account for their stewardship after serving. He also described the composition of all male boards and councils in the public sector as unacceptable. He has therefore directed governing boards and councils to establish mechanisms to ensure gender-balanced representation in their membership.
And so we have laid down procedures. We're supposed to follow procedure in doing the things that we do. It might be cumbersome following the procedure, but it's better to do it so that you're able to track and trace that it went through the normal procedure and that you took cognition of all the things that make you accountable, so that tomorrow somebody doesn't come and call you to, I heard a song, Iyo Koko Koko. Somebody doesn't call you to Iyoko.
Chairman of the occasion and the Agbobomafia of the Asogli State, Togbe Apede, urged persons in leadership positions to demonstrate integrity in all their dealings.
Now, Maxwell, my colleague, Maxwell Agbegba, joins us on phone for this. Maxwell, tell me, and so this meeting that is expected to happen today, can you give us more details? Has it started? Will it happen? Has it happened?
Well, we can report that that meeting has not started yet. In fact, the indication that we are getting is that the meeting will not be taking place today, but hopefully next week. That is the new report we're getting from, our sources, at the presidency. But just some minutes ago, though, the Auditor-General himself, we spotted the Auditor-General at the presidency, at the Jubilee House, holding, some files. Rarely will you see the Auditor-General at the presidency. But just about an hour or two or so ago, the Auditor-General was spotted at the presidency holding files believed to be various, audit reports. He's going to submit to the presidency ahead of this particular meeting. Remember that when the president was speaking yesterday, he stated that that meeting was going to take place on Thursday, but he was not specific on the date exactly when it's going to take place. So the expectations for many was that that meeting was going to happen today. But the indication that we're getting is that the meeting has not started and perhaps may not be taking place today, but hopefully next week. But secondly, also, we have spotted the Auditor-General, at the presidency, holding, files believed to be various audit reports from previous years, is going to submit to the presidency, which will be studied ahead of that important meeting that the president mentioned earlier.
That's super. Thank you so much, Maxwell Agbegba, for bringing us that update on this particular expected meeting. Of course, we shall be bringing you subsequently updates from this particular meeting if it does happen. But away from that, the NPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Enchiboisiako, Chairman Wuntumi, remains in custody 2 days after the High Court granted him 15 million Ghana cedis bail with 3 sureties, 2 of whom must be justified with landed property within the court's jurisdiction. He faces charges related to alleged illegal mining activities in the Tano Nimrit Forest and in Samaraboy, all in the Western region. We'll speak to lawyers for Chairman Wuntumi in a moment, but what are the bail conditions that Chairman Wuntumi has failed to meet? Kweku Asante of our Legal Affairs Desk has details in this report.
When the charges were read to Chairman Wontumi in court on Tuesday, he pleaded not guilty to all the counts. In the first case, which relates to the alleged unauthorized assignment of mineral rights and facilitation of unlicensed mining, the Ashanti Regional MPP chairman was granted bail in the sum of 15 million cedis, with 3 sureties, 2 of whom must justify with landed property. The court further ordered that he be placed on the stop list at all points of exit, effectively barring him from traveling outside Ghana, and report to the CID investigators on the first and third Monday of every month. In the second case, Chairman Wontumi faces accusations of illegal mining within the Tanonimire Forest Reserve, which allegedly resulted in the destruction of 13 hectares of land, the felling of over 300 trees, and the erection of unauthorized structures within the protected forest. For this case, he was granted bail in the sum of 10 million cedis, with 2 sureties, one of whom must justify with landed property. So in 2 cases, the bail sum 25 million cedis. After proceedings, Chairman Wontumi was handcuffed and escorted by officers from the police CID. He has since remained in custody as his lawyers work to meet the bail conditions. 48 hours on, these conditions have not yet been fully satisfied, and Chairman Wontumi remains in police custody pending the execution of his bail. Kweku Asante for Joy News.
While his lawyers work assiduously to get him out of custody, we shall be bringing you how that will end today as well in our subsequent bulletins. But still in the news, government is taking a significant step towards boosting sports development in the country with a proposed sports fund. According to Sports Minister Kofi Adams, the fund will be financed through existing levies on player transfer fees, sports event proceeds, revenue from ticket sales and other sporting activities, rather than introducing new taxes. The ministry has submitted a bill to Cabinet seeking approval for the establishment of the sports fund. Speaking on PM Express, Kofi Adams said the sports fund aims to support sports development across the country, providing resources to athletes, coaches, and sports infrastructure.
Have proposed and Cabinet has approved is a sports fund.
A sports fund.
A sports fund.
But that must be funded somehow.
Yes.
You must find the money for the fund.
That's exactly so.
And so how you fund the money for that fund?
The draft bill proposed a number of sources, and not to deviate, let me just mention a few of them. For example, we say A, allocations that Parliament will approve. Then a percentage of gate proceeds from sport activities.
Okay.
You want to come Sunday to watch the game. What do you pay to enter? A percentage of that should go into the fund. Then percentage of proceeds from transfer of athletes in Ghana and of Ghanaian athletes abroad.
That's interesting. What percentage?
Yeah.
Does the Act specify?
The Act itself will not state. It is the regulations that will bring about
subsequent to the passage
of this that you get. So a percentage of that. So if you transfer a player and the player earns maybe $1 million, a percentage of that will have to go into...
That's an interesting... Let's just break it down for me. I love football, so I need to understand this. Is it a percentage of the transfer fee?
Whatever comes to the athlete when you are transferred, and before it is shared among all beneficiaries, a percentage of it would have to go into the fund.
And I'll take you back to the bail conditions of Chairman Wontumi while we have his lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, joining us via phone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Where are we with the bail conditions for your client?
We have all the bail conditions as I speak to you now. The process of verifying and evaluating what we have submitted requested under the condition of bail is what we are waiting for. The justification requires us to bring landed properties for successful to pass beyond the verification stage. Lands Commission has certified that these properties are properly registered and it's not the Commission. The AES, Services Limited, they are in the process of evaluating told that in a few hours they will also finish with the evaluation. And then it goes back to the registry of the court for the court to sign the bill.
Does it look like all of this will finish today so that your client will be out of custody?
Very, very hopeful that will finish.
I mean, you're quite familiar with this process. You have been raising some concerns about bail conditions in this country. You're quite specific that this is not very exclusive to your client, but you have a general concern with bail conditions generally. What do you have to say? Do I still have lawyer here? I'm sorry that I've lost him, but we'll try and reconnect with him. But at least if there's anything to remember in this conversation, he says that he's quite certain that today they'll finish with the verification of all of the bail conditions, and then hopefully his client will be out of custody. But in a related illegal mining news, on Wednesday, 8th October 2025, the NIMAS task force conducted an intelligence-led operation in the Jomoro community of the Western North region, leading to the arrest of 2 Chinese galamseyers. The task force was initially delayed access to the forest by the forest guards, but managed to force entry, following which it apprehended the suspects. Now, following a forced entry in the forest, the NIMAS task force discovered 1 Toyota Land Cruiser V8 with registration number GR442 registered 2014, with 3 occupants fleeing the scene. 2 of whom were 2 occupants, Chinese nationals, were apprehended, while a 3rd suspect, a black national, escaped. The mining site was found to be operating along the Tano River with evidence of river diversion due to the illegal mining activities. And also 4 excavators were found at the site, with 3 already immobilized and 1 immobilized by the task force. Now, 2 heavy water pumping machines and 12 makeshift structures were destroyed. Items seized in the operation, which I shall be reiterating, is Toyota Land Cruiser V8, registered number GR44214, cash amount of 10,050 Ghana cedis, 2 phones, iPhone and a Huawei, 3 packs of cigarettes, 2 lighters, 1 HF radio, 1 torchlight, 1 drum of fuel, 1 monitor, 1 control board. Investigation as well. Earlier investigation suggests that the Chinese nationals were operating under the cover of Jomoro Community Mining Project, with allegations that the chief of Jomoro, Kwame Nana Nkansa, issued the concession to them. Investigations also revealed that the Chinese nationals were involved in sponsoring galamsey activities in the area, providing financial and logistical support to the illegal miners. Also, the NIMAS task force warns all foreign nationals engaging in illegal mining activities in the country's forest reserves and water bodies to desist from such activities. NIMAS will not hesitate to arrest and cause the prosecution of anyone found to be involved in these illegal activities, including those sponsoring or facilitating galamsey operations. And so they urge all Ghanaians to report any suspicious activities to the appropriate authorities. The task force has since as well transferred the 2 arrested Chinese nationals to the NIMAS headquarters in Accra for further action. Well, as well, in a related one, they have been given an update on an earlier operation conducted at Esipon in Asankragua Western Region. The NIMAS task force visited a mining site by name Bugat Mining, which operated along the Kwaman stream and a few meters away from the main first-class road. The task force also observed the presence of some foreigners from Burkina Faso who were workers at the mining site. Upon questioning, the owner of the Bugat Mining Company claimed that a small-scale mining was a registered mining company which acquired license in the year 2012, a claim that raised the tax for suspicion, especially with regards to the foreign workers. And following these, the leaders of the tax force instructed the owners of the company to report to NIMAS headquarters with all the Burkinabés who work with the company. On Thursday, 9th October 2025, this instruction was given to the site owner who they met at the location. And so if you want to read more, you can visit myjoyonline.com on this particular story. We move on to another story in the news today. The Youth Employment Agency, YEA, has refuted claims that about 300 of its staff have gone 10 months without salary, insisting that all verified employees have been paid consistently since February this year. This comes after a group claimed to be YEA staff held a press conference yesterday. The YEA explained that its Chief Executive Officer, Malik Basintali, who took office in February this year, inherited an existing payroll already approved by the agency's board. Since then, no verified employee has been excluded from salary payments. It says a comprehensive staff audit was conducted earlier in the year to validate genuine employees and protect public funds. Those who successfully completed the audit or had their contracts renewed have received their salaries, while others whose contract expired before the new CEO's appointments were required to reapply. The agency, in its statement, reaffirmed its commitment to staff welfare and is creating sustainable development opportunities for Ghanaian youth. Now, I shall now go on Zoom and have a conversation with the convener, Yao Akoto Osei, whom I had a conversation with yesterday in the news. Thank you for joining us today on the news, Mr. Yao Akoto Osei. So you have seen the response by the YEA. First of all, let me hear your initial reactions to the response from the YEA.
Thank you very much, Emifa. It is quite unfortunate. I have read the release, but it is quite unfortunate. Why am I saying this? First of all, the release sought to personalize the issue. It is as if we are up in arms against Mr. Malik Basintali. You know, YEA precedes Mr. Malik Basintali's appointment. And so the issue really is not with Mr. Malik Basintali. We refer to him because he's our CEO. The issue has nothing to do with him. It is YEA as a corporate body that owns us. It's not Mr. Malik Basintali in person that owns us.
The statement.
Secondly,
okay.
The release of
proceed.
Secondly, the release sought to that YEA inherited a payroll which covers legitimate staff. My dear Mefa, last year's Christmas bonus was not paid in December. It was paid in this year's June, which we received some. So if we were not part of the payroll, how come that bonuses we were captured? But our salary has been seized since. Then again, point 3 of their release, during the audit, most of our colleagues were regional district directors. They were those who were tasked to conduct the audit, to mobilize the staff to conduct the audit at their various district offices. Why were they conducted if they are not staff? Why? Let me also mention that, assuming without admitting that after the audit, these 300 staffs are not well mechanized and they are not legitimate staff. It is whose responsibility to communicate to them? Let me mention this here. This is a personal. On Monday, 26 May 2025, my regional director demanded a document from me, which I provided, and he acknowledged receipt of the document.
What document is this?
He requested for document of Zoom Lion beneficiaries in my district. It was sent to him via WhatsApp. He acknowledged receipt of the document. At that time, the audit had already been done. So under what capacity was he requesting a document from a non-staff, a staff who was not legitimately employed? This was on the 26th May. That time, the audit had been done and completed in March. So it is quite unfortunate that a release will be given out as though we are ghosts, we don't exist.
So until yesterday, when you did your press conference and as well engaged with me on the news, you had not received any formal response from the YEA concerning your salary non-payment?
Yes, we haven't received any forms of... Look, as I said, when I wrote to them firstly, they responded that they are conducting various stakeholders and departments within the agency and revert.
So now have they? Well, how long ago was this?
Oh, that was around June.
And until now, the only response you have seen again is this response from the YEA itself as of yesterday. Are you still with me? Okay, well, unfortunately, but I'm certain that you have the crux of the matter now, but I'm sure that we shall be engaging with him more subsequently as well. But It's frustration and fatigue at the Kumasi Resolution Center, where desperate parents have spent weeks chasing solutions to their unresolved school placement issues for their wards. Despite daily assurances from officials at the center, the aggrieved parents are yet to have their concerns addressed, leaving them frustrated. Some desperate parents are contemplating bribery as their last resort to have their children get into school. We have been interacting with some of these aggrieved parents.
This is a baba or a friend is a sanku. Onya a Kumaka, your man J.
I have frequented this place for the past 3 weeks. Some of us are working and we must leave the job to come sit here without any solutions to our challenge.
By 3 weeks. So it's too much. A woman, someone, I'm over here, but I say, I will phone maybe a namely chopping nearby, walk on or yabbing juma. No better than her, you say, you and one, they quite. Yeah, but I bit never a liar as someone coffee to Miss Ramo. When you be a come from my. Maybe I see a day, maybe says school noon and come maybe dear them my yako. But to my catcher and say, a my quack and my. This is a coffee.
Payment catcher said, young Cheska. Away down order 3 weeks.
They should tell us to pay cash. I didn't believe paying money, but now I think it is involved and I am ready to pay it.
Oh, see, I can't say Cheska. I bet you a plan board and I am for no question them to go in your hand. Damn, so man will say me Cheska and your family banner matria.
And never crying to me to if you so from a bit to Tonyama. Let us a moment and as a strabina, a strano.
We can't buy our kids stuff. They should turn to us.
That's good, people quite a be more answers. Last year, you win it, sir. A strabina, ready for to do for my strano.
Maybe the first time behind me.
This is my first time here. Whenever we go to the school, they tell us to come and change it at the center.
Civil society organizations in northern region are sounding the alarm over the severe shortage of teachers in rural areas. According to the CSOs, the current teacher recruitment and deployment strategy has failed to address the disparities in teacher distribution, with 68% of it remaining in rural areas. Addressing a press conference in Tamale, project manager of the School for Life, Zuliadin Amadou, attributed the issue to centralized recruitment and deployment system, which he says is marred by bureaucratic red tape and delays.
The press engagement was convened by the Complementary Basic Education Alliance Northern Network for Education Development and supported by School for Life. The project manager of School for Life, Zulgadin Amadou, said the current decentralization of teacher recruitment and deployment is associated with bureaucratic red tapeism and delays.
Whilst existing teacher recruitment and deployment strategy and related policies are well intended, the outcomes have been undesirable. We know the following. The strategy and related policies have not been able to address the equity concerns, as around 68% of vacancies in this study remain in rural areas. Secondly, the quality of basic education was found to be low, as 4 out of 6 districts had over 70% of students who took the BECE in 2020 obtaining above grade 30. Point number 3, the centralized recruitment and deployment of teachers was found in the study to be ineffective, as some teachers posted to schools and districts managed to secure reposting to their preferred places. Current centralization of teacher recruitment and deployment is associated with bureaucratic and red tapeism and delays. This does not make room for local teacher demands due to force majeure.
He commended the decentralized teacher recruitment and deployment system, which he said means once the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning gives financial clearance for the recruitment of teachers, the recruitment and posting of teachers would be done at the district education offices.
That a centralized teachers recruitment and deployment system is recommended. This means that once the Ministry of Finance gives financial clearance for the recruitment of teachers, the recruitment and posting of teachers should be done at the district education officers. At that local level, they have the local knowledge and then experience about the terrain. And then they can therefore better deploy or place teachers to where their services are more needed. Secondly, the equitable deployment of teachers requires timely, accurate, and reliable data. It is therefore recommended to the Ministry of Education and the GES to invest a modicum of its resources in equipping their plan and monitoring data and collection and the research-related issues.
Now, the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, has announced the government's release of 9.5 million cedis to primetime production to cover arrears and also pay for the 2025 season. Recently, the heads of Assessor Secondary School CHAS announced their inability to participate in the National Science and Maths Quiz due to a lack of funds. In response, while addressing the CHAS conference in Sunyane, the minister assured the government's commitment towards the competition, and following the announcement, also announced payments urged full participation. Precious Semevo has more.
At the 63rd Annual Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, in Sunyane, participants once again found a platform to discuss progress and voice concerns, among other issues. The president of CHAS, Reverend Father Stephen Owusu-Sechere, expressed delight at the restoration of the PTAs and condemned amorous relationships between teachers and students, urging punitive measures against offenders. He also acknowledged the efforts of CHAS members towards effective education despite fewer resources and further urged the government to clear all arrears.
Recurrent funds remain in arrears since 2021, and this undermines smooth management of schools. It is increasingly becoming difficult for schools to buy stationery, just stationery, for administrative and academic purposes, including examinations. We respectfully urge government to release these funds without any delay to the schools, including the arrears. Similarly, arrears for both perishable and non-perishable food items must be cleared now.
Speaking on the theme, ensuring comprehensive, equitable and sustainable secondary education in Ghana, the role of stakeholders, the Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, said the government is committed to addressing disparities with massive investment in infrastructure. He announced a release of 9.5 million Ghana cedis to primetime production, paving the way for CHAS to ensure schools take part in the Science and Maths Quiz.
I'm told that Maths and Science Quiz, CHAS may or may not participate because government has not honored its obligation in respect of its financing. I am happy to note and to report that government has released 9.5 million to prime time, which covers areas of 2023, 2024, and what is required for the 2025. What we need to discuss is what should we be doing to support CHAS, because all this money is going to prime time. Yet you are to transport the students, feed the students, and support the students. I'll be happy to review and consider a budget to support you to do that. Therefore, I expect CHAS to fully participate in the science quiz. The future of education is about science and mathematics education. Let us not miss the opportunity to get this exercise going. It means a lot for learners.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyane.
Now, 3 brilliant students from Newmont Ahafo host communities have received 15,000 Ghana cedis each in scholarship under the Libner Nadef Excellence Program. The initiative run by Libher Ghana Limited in partnership with the Newmont Ahafo Development Foundation is nurturing local talent in science and technology fields, empowering youth to drive Ghana's future in healthcare and engineering. Samuel Allah Aban, vendor health stock manager of Libner Ghana, at a presentation ceremony in Ntotroso in the Esutifi North District, noted that the partnership with NADEF reflects the company's vision of ensuring socio-economic development of its host communities. Correspondent Emmanuel Edujenfi reports.
We believe in human resources development, and so this is essentially rewarding students who are brilliant but needy within the math and science. And so we partnered with NADEF because their principles aligns with ours. And so yes, for the past 13 years, we've had 18 beneficiaries, and then it's been impactful.
Mr. Alad Aban has been highlighting the overall expectations of the Libya NADEF Excellence Scholarship Scheme.
As part of shortlisting and then selecting the awardees, you make a commitment that whatever you seek to gain out of the scholarship, you will bring it back to the community. Okay, so on behalf of my director and then our colleagues within LIPE, the expectations are that whatever you gain, ultimately, the community must benefit.
For the Newmont Ahafo Development Foundation, strategic partnerships with public and private sector institutions contribute to their success. Elizabeth Opekudako is the Executive Secretary.
Of areas that we believe is very important for any sustainable development is partnerships. So we partner with any organization that lies with us. So Libya Ghana, we've worked with them for almost 13 years now. They've supported the foundation when it comes to our human resource development.
She urged corporate bodies in the Ahafo region and beyond to join hands with NADEF to enhance socio-economic growth.
You're watching News Today. Please stay for business.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojobaka. MTN Mobile Money has intensified its fight against mobile money fraud with a community education campaign dubbed Shine Your Eyes at the Agbogboshi market here in Accra. More in this report.
The MTN Momo Shine Your Eyes campaign seeks to raise awareness among grassroots communities about the growing trend of Momo-related scams and how to stay protected. According to Senior Manager for FinTech Commercials at MTN Momo, Abdul Majid Rufai, the campaign forms part of the company's commitment to safeguarding customers' funds and promoting responsible digital financial practices.
We have identified education as one of our key factors in fighting fraud. So as part of that education exercise, apart from what we are doing on TV, on radio, we have identified that we need to take the education to the local communities. So we have decided to bring a project called Shine Your Eye. Shine Your Eye, meaning we need to take the fraud education to every single community that we live in. We are spread all over the country, and our team are spread all over the country. The exercise we are doing here today, we are doing same across all the regions of Ghana. Every week we are in one community or the other, educating customers on fraud, on how to safeguard themselves against fraud. Whilst we are at it, we do drama. So very soon you see our drama skits. We will demonstrate how the fraudster operates and also educate our customers how they can safeguard.
He cautioned customers to remain extra vigilant, especially during the festive season, as the company prepares to roll out its promotion.
As part of the education as well, towards the end of Christmas, once we are heading towards the Christmas festivities, that's when we see heightened attempts by fraudsters to target our customers. And we have launched a promo where we are giving our customers daily, weekly, monthly winners with a grand price of 100,000 in December. And whilst we are doing these kind of things, that's when other people will try to take advantage of our customers.
The Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology College of Health has received a donation of a Mindray Kasona N6 ultrasound machine from Kasona Global Imaging Limited, a leading medical company here in the country. More in this report.
The Mindray Kasona N6 ultrasound machine is a cutting-edge diagnostic system designed for various medical applications, including general imaging, cardiovascular care, and women's health. Chief Executive Officer of Kasona Global Imaging, John Chibu, said the donation is a step towards bridging the gap in healthcare infrastructure and training in Ghana.
We want to create a place for them to come and brush up, and we want to associate with universities so that should their students need clinicals, they can come to us. Should their students need internship, they can come to us. We'll hire students who will be doing the daily thing. That way they get first-hand experience of what it is like around it. So yes, we are doing it now, but it is scattered all over. So our center that is supposed to open has a classroom where at least 4 times in a month, people can come and get trained by application specialists.
Pro Vice Chancellor of KNUST, Professor David Asamoah, expressed his deepest appreciation to Kasona Mindray for believing in their vision and investing in their future. Global Radiology Product Sales and Marketing Department International Marketing Manager of Mindray, Alvin Liu, stated that the donation aims to share their latest technologies with students and medical professionals, enabling them to provide better healthcare services.
And we can help to be the bridge between Ghana and China or Mandarin. Yeah. Second one, the education, the students. Yeah, of course, we have this kind of resource. For my side, we are welcome to see in the future if there are any students that have this kind of such big winning.
That's it for business. I am Pius Kojo Baka. We have more for you by way of sports as we tell you about the Black Stars back in Ghana with Benaya Dafamapo. Welcome to the sports segment with me, Benaya Elom Dapamapo. And the Black Stars are back in Ghana following their emphatic win over the Central African Republic on Wednesday. The team arrived at the Kutuka International Airport in the early hours of Thursday. The team were received by the Ghana Supporters Union, who were at the airport to welcome them following their win. Ghana defeated the Central African Republic by 5-0 in Morocco as they edged closer to the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualification. The Black Stars are expected to begin preparations for their final qualifier against Comoros, which is scheduled for Sunday, October 12th at the Accra Sports Stadium.
And that's 2-0.
What?
Timing is run into the box of perfection.
One man who has been in scintillating form at this World Cup qualification for Ghana is Captain Jordan Ayew. Now, he believes that no team could have stood a chance against the Black Stars yesterday with the kind of attitude they displayed on the pitch.
There's a lot of going through my mind. The words I'm going to use to talk to the boys and all those things. But obviously, I'm a very calm person as well. So this type of moments, I use it to reflect on everything and what I can use to trigger the boys to give them that energy, that extra push, that help to be committed to the cause. So I'm happy we've done it. this is exactly what I wanted. To be fair, I didn't expect 5 goals, but I just wanted us to win. But we thank God. I'm happy with the boys. I want to thank them for their commitment, their support since day one. That I've been appointed the captain. They've always been behind me. They've always been supporting me, and there've not been any issue or anything like that. They've really been being good to me and being on the same direction. And obviously, like I always say, there's no limit as a captain. We are 23 captains, so we are here to help ourselves and make sure that everyone is at his best and to perform. When we played in Kumasi, we won 4-3. It was a really tight game, and obviously they missed out on their captain and the 1 or 2 important players for them that gave us that extra motivation to kill the game and to make sure that we win the game, But at the end of the day, the boys, who I think today, with the motivation and determination that we had, whoever was on the pitch would have lost the game, because honestly, today from the first minute we were at it.
And that's it for the sports segment with me, Benaya Elom Dafpamapo. For more stories, you can log on to myjournline.com. Up next is Showbiz with Shola Adeyemi.
Time now for Showbiz. I am Shola Adeyemi, and I have the hottest gist happening in the world of entertainment for you. So do stick and stay. Let's get into our stories. Now, before the streaming era, before YouTube clicks and digital chats, Ghana's music pulsed to the rhythm of hip life. That infectious fusion of high life melodies, rap flows, and real street stories. It was raw, it was bold, and irresistibly Ghanaian. And right at the heart of it all were the dynamic groups and brothers in rhythm and rhyme who made us dance and feel every beat, from VIP's electrifying energy to Pious harmonies to book-back swagger and to Wuta's soulful blend. These trailblazers defined a golden era where collaboration was king and every beat told its own story. This Throwback Thursday, we rewind to the unforgettable time when Ghanaian hip-life groups ruled the airways.
The late 1990s and early 2000s were the heartbeat of Ghana's hip life era, a fusion of high life rhythms and hip-hop energy that defined a generation. Leading the charge was VIP, later VVIP, with chart toppers like Ahum Kawum and Bessin. Their blend of street storytelling and danceable beats became the sound of the youth. Then came Prayer, the trio whose smooth harmonies and catchy hooks made songs like Angelina and Shorty instant anthems. Book-back were among the pioneers, blending Ga and English rap with high life flow long before the genre found a name. Their hits, I'm Going to Come and Kolom, opened doors for many after them. Could forget Wuta, the soulful duo behind Big Dreams and Kotosa, whose melodies made us sing along word for word. As the years passed, the group slowly gave way to solo careers, but their influence is still felt in today's Afrobeats and rap sounds. From VIP to Forex 4, Book Back to Prior, these were the voices that defined friendship, creativity, and unity through music. Their songs might have faded from the charts, but their rhythms still echo in Ghana's musical story. A reminder that some eras never truly end.
Well, and that's all for Showbiz. For more Showbiz stories, please head to myjoyonline.com. Over to you. Do you have a favorite group in there?
Of course I do. I can do the Angelina dance at some point after the news. But, well, let's remind you that the Joy News EcoBank Habitat Fairs nearly here. The thought of owning a home often scares prospective homeowners due to cost, mortgage payments, and maintenance. But major sponsor of the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, EcoBank Ghana PLC, has assured special arrangements would be made for all prospective homeowners who visit the stand at the Accra International Conference Center from the 23rd day of October to the 26th day of October.
Bank, we do this because we believe that home ownership should not just be a dream. Everybody must own a home, and there are very simple ways to do that. And at this fair, we've always been talking about, we have our mortgage products, but our diaspora mortgage is what we are actually encouraging Ghanaians living abroad, professionals, that this is a product that is specially designed for you, 10 years of repayment. So you can really own a home back home without all the drama. So come meet with us, let's talk at EcoBank and help you get a home wherever you are.
Well, that'll be all for the news today. I am Emefa Akosia Adeti Shola. That'll be all. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com, and thank you for watching.